Yeah, look, Minister, you all know, that our big concern, and the concern of a lot of people out there, is that affordable housing may turn out not to actually be affordable for the working people that desperately need it. And you say, across the chamber just now, people won't have heard it on the mics, it will be. Now, I have no doubt that you hope that's the case, that you would like that to be the case, but you know, your wishes and the best intentions in the world don't actually make something true. I'm sure when Enda Kenny said in 2011, when the Fine Gael Labour government entered into office, that by the end of the first term of this government we will have eliminated homelessness. He actually said that. He probably meant it. He probably actually wanted to get rid of homelessness. But in fact, they made policy decisions that produced the worst homelessness crisis in the history of the state. So you can call it unintended consequences, you can call it misguided ideology. That means what you want may not turn out to be the case. So we want, in this legislation, something that guarantees that the affordable housing is actually affordable for the working families that are facing a housing crisis because housing isn't affordable. And of course, key to that is that it is people who make money from property, from land, and from housing, or who just like to make money from investment and do absolutely nothing, that they do not dictate the price of the affordable housing. That's our concern. And we'll get on to the details in that and some of these other amendments. But when we hear of public-private partnerships, when we hear of affordability being related to market price, even a discount on market price, or even worse, to local market conditions, we get very worried. Because local market conditions are absolutely dysfunctional. Market prices are absolutely stratospheric. So if that is the thing you benchmark these things against, our fear, belief indeed, I suspect, of quite a few of us is the affordable housing in many of the areas where it is needed most will not actually be affordable. So we want it hardwired into the legislation. And critically, it's on the issue of income. You see, to me, as I've said to you many times, Minister, affordability is based on your income. It's not based on a particular price that is set by the market, the minister, or anybody else, right? It is based on your income. And what is a reasonable proportion of income for working people to have to spend on rent or on mortgage repayments? And to my mind, that figure is 25%, maybe 30%, but no more. Not 40, 50, 60, and 70 indeed percent, as many people in the epicenters of this housing crisis are actually paying. And we want that in the legislation. You don't want it in the legislation, or you have not put it in the legislation, and instead it goes back to regulation. Right? And that is a grave matter of concern. So we want any decisions you make after this to be subject to scrutiny, and not just things laid before the Dáil. Which, you know, if in the, you look at this week, I mean, look what we're dealing with. Guillotine after guillotine after guillotine. We're dizzy with the amount of legislation that's being rammed through. How would we possibly be able to spot what would be laid before the Dáil on a week like this? But if there's a requirement that these things actually have to be passed by the Houses of the Oireachtas, debated and passed, then we would have some oversight, some insurance against the possibility that the decisions you make subsequently will not actually deliver the affordable housing that we so desperately need. So that is the logic of these amendments, and I don't see why that basic level of oversight and accountability in this critically important area that is the existential crisis facing a generation in our society would not have the scrutiny it deserves.
Thank you, Deputy.